hit legs yesterday, and then I had the opportunity to leave work early, and I was like, shit, this never happens. What do I do? What does Dillon want to do? I wanted to go skate, so I went to the skate rink. It's like, Dillon, isn't it not very optimal to go skate for 3 hours after you just hit legs? Yeah, probably not, especially since I did not prepare for this. Usually before I go skate, I eat a fuck ton of carbohydrates to carb up of varying sources like fruit, oatmeal, rice cakes. But since I did not plan for this, I planned to just kind of be doing some steady state walking, maybe hold a cocktail tray all day. I was underfed, but I was like, you know what, we're gonna figure it out. You know, when I went in to get my skates, immediately grabbed a banana. Now, boom, out the door. I get to the skate rink, I run out of energy quick. What do? Well, they have a snack bar, but not a lot of macro-friendly options, you know. They got like chicken wings, pizza, fried pickles. No. That, for performance, that is not gonna do me any good. Like, sure, it's maybe got some sodium, but I don't need that much sodium. No. Long story short, I ended up getting Sour Patch Kids because that's the only non-fat candy that they had. They were out of Skittles. I like those. But you know what? Sour Patch Kids will do. Is it the most optimal thing for me to eat? No. But it was what I had access to in that moment. Like one time, I was eating a Rice Krispie treat at the ice rink. And my friend Miguel was like, Dillon, isn't that like a bunch of sugar? And I'm like, yeah, man, that's the point. I mean, that's literally what I need to do zoomies around the rink. And then it's like, yeah, it could have been more optimal for me to just go home and chill, but I'm somebody who likes doing hard things. And in doing so, like when I got to the rink, for example, I got experiences that I would not have gotten if I would have stayed at home. I ended up teaching my friend a new trick that he's been working on for a while. I learned a new trick myself that I, of course, learned on accident, you know? And it's actually something, it's funny because I was trying to do another trick and I ended up doing something even harder on accident. That's what the learning process is like. That's what happens when you just stick to it. You try something and you're like, oh my God, I'm better at this than I thought. That's kind of what like the gym is like. You know, I always say it feels like nothing's happening until everything changes. That's true, you know. Sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, dude, whoa. And never forget where you came from. No matter how long it's been. Whether you're a month in, 2 months in, 3 months in, always remember where you started and where you are now. Always remember the progress you made because it will fuel you to continue to make more progress. Sometimes I do catch myself in a scenario where I forget that I was ever fat. And then I have a little picture pin on my iPad and I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking did that. And then it just gets me going to go out and do more. That's how I have the energy to go hit legs and then technically go hit legs again at the skate rink. Because I like doing hard things. Because doing hard things has actually made my life easier. Losing 130 pounds, I'm like, if I can do that, everything else is a walk in the park. And it is. Acting class, man, if there was a grade book, I'd have an A+. Personal training too. Some of my clients, a lot of them are my coworkers, they're freaking killing it, man. They come up to me with questions all the time. Dillon, I'm stuck at like 26 push-ups, man. Like, what do I do? I'm like, switch to incline push-ups. Put your feet on something and start doing those to failure. And then one day, Maybe a week later, go back to regular push-ups and see how many you can do. And then like, dude, really? I'm trying to record here. And then like 3 weeks later, he comes up to me and he's like, Dillon, you're right. I'm up to like 30 push-ups now. I'm like, see? Because my goal as a personal trainer is not to just take your money and be like, all right, eat this many calories and do these exercises. No, my goal is to teach you how to not need me. Because people always ask me, Dillon, did you use a personal trainer when you did your weight loss journey? No, man, I couldn't afford one. I couldn't even afford a gym membership. I started out by just lifting some heavy rocks. All right, man, can you please go inside, please? And it was hard, you know, especially since I started in the dead of winter. I'd go out there, my freaking blocks are frozen, my hands are turning blue, but I knew that I wouldn't, what's the word? Not that I wouldn't remember how hard it was, but I would remember how good the results were. Actually, I'm living the results as we speak. And I continue to live the results and create even better results. All in the process of just teaching myself to like doing hard things. People always ask me, Dillon, what's your favorite muscle group to train? Well, they're all my favorite for like varying reasons. But if somebody came up to me and was like, Dillon, you only get to train one for the rest of your life. Which one are you picking? Well, I'm picking legs because it's hard. You know, a lot of people hate barbell back squat, but I love it because it's hard. Because I know that if I can put a bar on my back with a couple 100 pounds and squat to failure, where the end of the set, the bar is on the safeties, I know that if I can do that, then every other set on every other movement to failure is gonna be a walk in the park. A set of standing dumbbell curls to failure, light work, easy. A set of lat pull downs to failure, light work, easy. Not that I'm going easy, not that I'm training easy, but after I, push that muscle to absolute failure, my nervous system's like, this is a walk in the park, because it's nothing compared to when he had us do barbell back squat yesterday. I don't know if I said this earlier, but remember, the best view is always at the top of the tallest staircase. Don't get caught up taking the escalator. There's nothing at the top of the escalator except disappointment and hurt feelings. Take your ass to the staircase and get to stepping. It's difficult, but I promise, it's a weird staircase. The steps, they start out like super steep. You're like freaking 3-foot steps, but as you get to the top, it kind of turns a little more into like a ramp. You're like, all right, yeah, we're chilling. This is easy. It gets better as you climb. The difficult steps at the bottom will make the ones at the top easier. Just something to think about. I'll be back.